My roommate is a so-called sober-minded sister, who loves to lecture others the most. When a classmate saved up money to buy a tablet for her younger brother who was funding her education, she frowned and said, "You've been brainwashed and don't even realize it." What a poor Voldemort, a derogatory term for someone who excessively caters to their family, especially brothers. For my boyfriend's birthday, I knitted a scarf for him by hand. But she mocked me. Such a clingy wife-tobe is terrifying. Your parents might as well have raised a white-eyed wolf, an ungrateful person, instead of you. Later, my roommate was accosted by a thug, with a knife tucked in his waist on the street. To protect ourselves, we wanted to let the matter drop. But the sober-minded sister suddenly stepped forward, yelling at us for being cowardly, and splashed her milk tea in the man's face. Enraged, the man drew his knife and went on a slashing spree, but she pushed me in front of her. In the end, I was hacked to death alive, while she was praised as the bravest female college student who stood up for her roommate and lived a prosperous life. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn on the day of the incident. At that moment, the murderer was standing right in front of me. My roommate, Chen Shinru, was trembling with anger, but staring at the sharpened machete at the man's waist. She had to swallow her anger. Looking at this familiar scene, I didn't have time to think and frantically recalled everything from my previous life. Back then, the man had also molested my roommate in public. But he hadn't been enraged, he just watched us panic like we were toys. It wasn't until Zhang Qingxia showed up out of nowhere, cursing him like a maniac and splashing milk tea in his face, that he was provoked into killing with the knife. Maybe this time, we could escape safely before that bitch Zhang Qingxia arrived. I immediately lowered my head, secretly tugged at my roommate's clothes, and tried to lead her away. The man looked a bit displeased but didn't stop us after all. I was overjoyed, but just a few steps away, Zhang Qingxia appeared like a ghost. Indignantly, she shouted, "What do you think you're doing, facing such evil in society? You just swallow your pride and sneak away. What's the difference between you and that scumbag who harasses women everywhere? Don't you know, if you two don't fight back bravely today, more sisters will be harassed tomorrow." Zhang Qingxia would never allow such a thing to happen. With that, she dragged us back in front of the man. We were so close to escaping, but the murderer was pulled back by Zhang Qingxia. He couldn't help yelling, "Are you out of your mind? He already let us leave. And you dragged us back." Zhang Qingxia was our college roommate, and she was such a nuisance that no one in the dorm liked her. In my previous life, she had also shown up suddenly, like this. First, she scolded us for being cowards who gave in to evil and disgraced all women. Then she splashed her milk tea in the man's face, mocking him for only daring to do petty, sneaky things, calling him worse than a eunuch, and saying he was just bluffing with an unsharpened machete. The enraged man drew his knife and swung at Zhangxing. She never expected him to actually attack, and was scared out of her wits. As the blade was about to hit her face, she pushed me forward. The furious man, his eyes red with bloodlust, split my eyeballs and nose in two with one slash. By the time the police arrived, I had been hacked to death alive. In contrast, Zhang Qingxia, thanks to her impassioned speech, was hailed by netizens as the bravest female college student, and went on to reach the peak of her life. Zhang Qingxia looked at me with utter disgust. "Zhang Wenqi, how can you be so spineless, letting him harass and humiliate you like this? Having backbone requires being alive first," I snapped in a low voice. "That man has a knife. You two girls obviously can't fight him. Do we have to fight to the death just to prove we're spineful? Shut the hell up, you bitch," he growled. "He's got a knife. Are you trying to get us killed?" Zhang Qingxia scoffed. "So, what if he has a knife? It's because of cowards like you that women keep getting pushed around by these bastards. You think this is just a small step back? Wrong. You're giving up all women's living space. You're afraid of death, but I'm not." With that, she splashed her milk tea in the man's face. "You animal, molesting girls in broad daylight. You call yourself a man, even if they dressed provocatively on purpose. that doesn't give you the right to harass them like this. Are you kidding me? Dressed provocatively on purpose. Even now, she still had to take a dig at us. You're nothing but a lowlife who preys on the weak. You're not even half a man, she went on, mocking him, waving around an unsharpened machete to act tough. Ha, this is ridiculous. Don't believe you dare to cut anyone, coward. Listening to her hurl insults like coward and loser, we wanted to sew her filthy mouth shut with a needle when I saw the man's eyes turn bloodshot just like they had in my past life. Right before he snapped, Edie grabbed Chen Xinru and pulled her back in a tactical retreat, but Zhang Qingxia goaded him again. You useless piece of shit, if you've got the balls, come cut me. Do it, the man finally snapped. He lunged forward, grabbed Zhang Qingxia by the hair, and slapped her face left and right. You bitch! Are you done yelling? You've had enough of your shit. Zhang Qingxia was caught off guard. The slaps landed hard, and she let out a blood-curdling scream. In a panic, she bit the man hard, forcing him to let go, but before she could catch her breath, he drew his machete and swung at her. Zhang Qingxia never thought he'd actually attack. She froze, tears and snot streaming down her face. Then, a vicious glint flashed in her eyes. She reached out to the side, trying to push me in front of her, like she had in my past life, but her hand grabbed nothing but air. She spun around in shock only to see Chen Xinru and me already 10 meters away. You two bitches! You're trying to kill me! She shrieked, her eyes bulging with rage. How laughable. The one hitting and stabbing people was that scumbag man. When did we become the ones harming her? He told her 100 times that bastard had a knife. She was the one who said she wasn't afraid of death, who kept insulting and goading him. Where we supposed to stay and get hacked too instead of running? But we weren't as ruthless as Zhang Qingxia. Still, the man was too ferocious for us to approach. We could only grab everything in our bags and hurl it at him. Even so, Zhang Qingxia took several slashes. Her insults loser, useless piece of shit turned into obsequious begging. I'm sorry brother, stop cutting me. I'll never mas swear at you again. Have mercy on me, please. But the man only laughed and swung harder. You little slut, weren't you calling everyone else spineless just now? Look at yourself crawling like a bitch. Ha! I'm gonna kill you? You Jianhua bitch! Watching Zhang Qingxia on the verge of being hacked to death, Chen Xinru and I had no choice but to scream at the top of our lungs, fire, fire to alert the nearby residents. As crowds of people rushed downstairs, the man, true to our expectation, fled in panic. With everyone's help, we sent Zhang Qingxia, who was covered in blood, like a blood-soaked Gorto, the hospital. Before long, Zhang Qingxia's parents, notified of the incident, hurried over. Zhang's family was local, and she had always acted high and mighty. No wonder she was so annoying. Upon seeing us, Zhang's mother started yelling at us. Without any explanation, our counselor immediately stepped between us to calm her down and gestured for us to leave quickly. Having just been reborn and gone through this ordeal, he was truly physically and mentally exhausted. I had no energy to argue, so I went back to school directly with Chen Xinru. In the dorm, he comforted Chen Xinru for a long time before she finally calmed down from the panic. Unlike her, I had already been mentally prepared after experiencing it once before. Chen Xinru's lips were pale as she asked, when she got cut so many times, do you think she'll be okay? I sneered. If anything happens to her, it's entirely her own fault. She's always acting like a sober sage in the dorm, lecturing everyone, even in front of a murderer. She dared to be arrogant. Who else would he can chop if not her? Chen Xinru still felt guilty, but she did stand up to that lunatic for us, didn't she? I sighed helplessly. Chen Xinru was good in every way, except for one. She was too soft-spoken. That was why Zhang Qingxia always liked to sneer and mock her on a daily basis. Though it wasn't Chen Xinru's fault. Chen Xinru's family was poor, and her parents had passed away early, so she only had her younger brother to depend on to fund her education. Her brother had dropped out of school to work at a young age, so when she found out her brother loved painting, she worked part-time to save up money and bought him a tablet. It should have been a heartwarming story. But when Zhang Qingxia found out, she started playing the know-it-all again. Not only did she mock Chen Xinru in the dorm for being brainwashed, but she also spread rumors around the class, calling her a Voldemort, a derogatory term for someone who excessively caters to their family. Especially Brother Sand, claiming Chen Xinru had used her merit scholarship to buy the tablet for her brother. The matter even reached the counselor. In my previous life, after Zhang Qingxia climbed to fame as the bravest female college student by stepping on my dead body, Chen Xinru tried to clarify the truth and seek justice for me. In the end, she was framed by Zhang Qingxia, dropped out of college before graduation, and was forced to marry an old bachelor because she was pregnant with a daughter. The old man forced her to have an abortion, and she died from severe bleeding. Chen Xinru's brother, in revenge for his sister, killed the old bachelor and then jumped off a building to his death, all because of Zhang Qingxia's momentary recklessness. 3 lives were lost. This time, I would never let her hurt anyone again. That said, Zhang Qingxia did have some luck. Even though she was cut multiple times, none of the wounds hit vital organs. The murderous thug had also been arrested by the police shortly after. A week later, our counselor organized a class visit to Zhang Qingxia. In the hospital, as both her roommate and the class monitor, he naturally had to go. Unexpectedly, the moment she saw me, tears welled up in her eyes. When she did I ever do anything to offend you, she said, her voice trembling. Why did you try to kill me? All eyes immediately turned to me, but I wasn't flustered at Alan. Fact, I felt a strange sense of certainty. I had known Zhang Qingxia wouldn't let us off so easily. When did I ever try to kill you? He asked calmly. Zhang Qingxia forced a bitter smile, as if she had suffered the greatest injustice. You're still lying at a time like this. I know you've held a grudge against me ever since the class cadre election, but that was so long ago. Why do you hate me so much that you deliberately let that murderer kill me? Seeing the school leader's expressions darken, our counselor immediately frowned and warned, Zhang Qingxia, you must take responsibility for your words. Zhang's mother glared and snapped back at him. Counselor Wang, how dare you talk like that? Is my daughter lying? She's just too kind, which is why those ungrateful little bitches tricked her. If it weren't for the school's sake, I'd slap those 2 sluts to death today. Zhang Qingxia's eyes were filled with mockery and contempt. Counselor, I know you have an unusual relationship with Zheng Wenqi, but you can't cover for her just because of that. Do you even deserve to be a teacher? The school leaders' faces turned terrifyingly dark. The counselor grew anxious. Miss Zhang, what do you mean by that? You can't talk nonsense. Zhang Qingxia spoke slowly with a sneer. I never said you two were having a student-teacher affair. Why are you in such a hurry? Counselor, hearing this, Zhang's mother jumped up, pointing at the counselor's nose and yelling, so that's why you're protecting this little slut? You two are fooling around. I'm going to report you to the Education Bureau right now. As the situation spiraled out of control, he gave Zhang Qingxia a cold laugh. What evidence do you have that I tried to harm you? Zhang Qingxia scoffed. Evidence? Do I need it? There were 3 of us there. Why didn't that murderer can chop you too? Only me. How can you say you didn't do it on purpose? I never thought you'd be so vicious, she continued, feigning grievance. I saw you two trapped by that man, and went to help out of kindness, but you deliberately left me there to take the blade for you. If I hadn't been there myself, a witness to the whole thing, I might have even believed her nonsense. Seeing me stay silent, Zhang Qingxia grew triumphant. Cat got your tongue. A thankless wretch like you doesn't deserve to be a student at University A at all. She then demanded the school leaders expel me immediately, while her mother chimed in, screaming that I should be thrown in jail for life. Just as the mother and daughter's arrogance reached its peak, he laid out the entire story, clearly cutting out the fluff, but leaving no key detail out. I told them how Chen Xinru and I had barely escaped, only to be dragged back in front of the murderer by Zhang Qingxia. How Zhang Qingxia had hurled insults to deliberately provoke the man, and how Chen Xinru and I had risked our lives to save her, only to be falsely accused in return. In short, he stripped away all her pretense, exposing her true colors completely. When Zhang Qingxia noticed the school leader's gazes toward her shift, she panicked instantly. "You're lying. It was you and Chen Xinru who deliberately left me with the murderer to take the hit for you. What proof do you have that I provoked him?" I smiled faintly, calm as ever, and pulled out the pre-prepared surveillance footage. Raising my hand to signal, I said, "Leaders, please watch this video." Soon, the screen showed Zhang Qingxia's agile movements, and her friendly and harmonious remarks, sarcasm intended. "Are you kidding? I'd come fully prepared. To get this footage, I'd spent several thousand yuan and talked the store owner's ear off with kind words before he agreed to copy the surveillance for me. But it was all worth it, as long as I could expose Zhang Qingxia's true face." The more the school leaders watched, the tighter their brows furrowed. Before they could say anything, a man in the next hospital bed who'd been watching the whole drama unfold couldn't hold back anymore. He pointed at Zhang Qingxia and shouted, "Are you out of your mind? If you don't want to live, go hang yourself from a tree, stop dragging others down with you." Luckily those two girls were smart, or they would have been killed by a jinx like you. Zhang Qingxia had always been the type to pick on the weak and fear the strong. Seeing the man's muscular build and tattooed arms, she didn't dare utter a word, her face turning crimson with suppressed anger. Just as Zhang's mother was about to start yelling again, the school leaders quickly stepped in to calm her down, putting an end to the shouting match. Back at school, I filled Chen Xinru in on what had happened. On one hand, I wanted her to see Zhang Qingxia's true colors and stop feeling guilty. On the other, I wanted her to be prepared. Knowing Zhang Qingxia's personality, she'd definitely spread rumors around school once she was discharged, so to stop that bitch from stirring up trouble, I decided to strike first. A month later, Zhang Qingxia returned to campus. The moment she walked into our dorm, she stood at the door and started ordering people around as if it were her. "Right, Chen Xinru, go pick up my package from the Ximen Kaniao station. Wang Weiwei, take off my bed sheets, throw them in the washing machine, and put on a new set. Zhang Wenqi, go buy me food from the cafeteria. I want the small wontons from the westernmost shop on the 3rd floor of the East Canteen. No cilantro or shredded green onions, add vinegar and chili. Not too much vinegar, but not too little either. For the chili, only the pepper flakes. No, I'm still recovering and don't want anything too greasy." The three of us exchanged glances. Anger boiling inside, I sneered. "If we do all the work, what are you gonna do?" Zhang Qingxia plopped down on a chair, propping her legs up. "I'm gonna rest, obviously. I took all those knife cuts for you. Guys know it's your turn to wait on me." Wang Weiwei's face darkened as she pointed at herself. "What about me? You didn't take any cuts for me. Why do I have to do your chores?" Zhang Qingxia rolled her eyes impatiently. "I'm doing this for your own good. Look how fat you've gotten if you don't lose weight. Even old bachelors want you when you get married." Wang Weiwei trembled with rage. Zhang Qingxia let out a tsumiat contemptuous laugh. Then turned to grab a pile of clothes she'd left unwashed for over a month. She threw them in my face. "Go wash these, then buy my food," she said, humming a tune as she walked out. I let out a cold laugh, stepped forward, and grabbed her hair hard. With a loud thud, he slammed her head onto the desk. "Did you not wake up properly this morning? Let me help you sober up," Zhang Qingxia yelped as her scalp burned. She struggled wildly, screaming, "It hurts. Zhang Wenqi, you psycho. How dare you hit me? Do you want to die? Let go of me right now, or it'll make you regret it." What big talk she hadn't been this bold when she was being chased and hacked by a man with a knife. Chen Xinru and Wang Weiwei quickly locked the door. He picked up the stinking pile of clothes and stuffed them into Zhang Qingxia's mouth. Then I dragged her up and slapped her fair cheeks twice. Crack, crack you bitch, she spat. You got hacked into the hospital, and you still can't keep that filthy mouth shut. How dare you come here and act like you're doing us a favor? If you hadn't gone crazy out of nowhere, Qin Shinru and I would have been fine long ago. I can't speak for others, but those knife cuts of yours, you got them purely because you're a loudmouth. After giving Zhang Qingxia a thorough beating, she fled crying. Chen Shinru looked worried. Will she tell the counselor? I sneered. Even if she doesn't, I will. Living with a heartless bitch like her, I'm scared I'll end up dead without knowing why. That same day, I went to see our counselor. He told him the entire dorm hated Zhang Qingxia and refused to live with her, begging the school to move us to a new room. The counselor was annoyed, but understanding had seen firsthand how Zhang Qingxia had acted in the hospital. Besides, such a scandal would damage the school's reputation, he said. Head, look into it carefully. As soon as I left the office, Wang Weiwei called me in a panic. Zhang Qingxia's parents are here, and they're attacking us. When I rushed to the dorm building, I saw Zhang's mother like a ferocious she-devil linking Chen Shinru's hair and yelling, "Slut," over and over. Zhang Qingxia's father stood beside her, his face dark with anger. I charged forward, shoved Zhang's mother away, and snapped, "You, old hag! Are you out of your mind?" Zhang's mother flew into a rage. "It's you again, you little slut. You're in cahoots with that whore, aren't you?" Chen Shinru touched her red-slapped cheek, her eyes watering as she tried to explain awkwardly. When he didn't even get to say anything. "Before she hit me," she added. Wang Weiwei was fuming. "Who's a slut? This old woman just can't stand that Shinru is younger and prettier than her." I saw it all clearly from behind her own husband's eyes were glued to other women, and she has the nerve to hit someone. Zhang Qingxia, standing nearby, under an umbrella and watching the drama, shrugged indifferently. "You can't say that. It's obviously Chen Shinru throwing herself at men. There are people walking around downstairs, including guys, and she came down in shorts and a short-sleeve shirt. She just wants to show off. Which man could resist that kind of seduction?" Everyone was shocked by her words. Was this something an educated college student should say? In summer, where are they supposed to wear down jackets instead of shorts and short sleeves? Zhang's mother snorted. "Xiaoxia's right. This slut is always trying to seduce men. Men are all the same when she dresses like that. Everyone knows what she's up to. Mom, you don't know some girls these days think they can do whatever they want just because they're pretty," Zhang Qingxia added. "But oh well, what can you expect? She's an orphan with no parents to teach her better, so she's an orphan. No wonder she's so ill-mannered. A jinx. She killed her own parents, and now she wants to seduce my husband. Girls like you, before they could finish." I grabbed a bucket of sewage and splashed it on them. A foul stench instantly emanated from Zhang Qingxia and her mother. "You old bitch," she cursed. "Did you grow up eating shit? Your mouth is so foul, you perverted old hag. Don't you have any self-awareness about what your precious husband is like? He reeks of old age. Just looking at him makes me want to throw up. Are all the men in the world dead? Why would anyone want to seduce him? And you, Zhang Qingxiao's sluttier than you. You got slapped, hacked with a knife, and still acted coquettish calling him brother. You motherless whore, my making. You feel good by cursing you like this." Zhang Qingxia didn't even bother wiping the dirty water off her face. She panicked and denied it. "Shut up. Stop smearing me. I'm nothing like you bitches. Still trying to be tough. Well, see soon enough if I'm smearing you." I let out a cold laugh and pulled up the video ID saved earlier. In the next second, Zhang Qingxia's voice sounding like something out of an adult film blared from my phone. "I'm sorry, brother. Don't cut me. I'll never swear at you again. Have mercy on me, brother. It hurts so bad. Brother, go easy, brother. I'm gonna die from the pain." Zhang Qingxia's face instantly turned as red as a monkey's butt. She screamed and lunged for my phone, but the surrounding Students blocked her path, crowding around to watch the video. Who is this girl crazy? You'd think she's filming a porn here. One student gasped. Is she enjoying getting cut? How can she make sounds like that? And she has the nerve to call others slutty. The other girl just wore shorts and a t-shirt, but she practically threw herself at a murderer. I know who she is now. A while back, my roommate told me about a girl in our school who didn't want to live and tried to drag her two roommates down with her. Wait, you heard about that too? Supposedly, the two roommates had already escaped, but that bitch dragged them back to the thug who had a knife. Isn't that basically attempted murder? As the students recognized her, Zhang Xingxia panicked. She panted heavily, her soaking wet hair sticking messily to her forehead, and shrieked hysterically. None of this is true. It's all fake. Someone is framing me. It's all rumors. Cover your eyes, everyone. Don't look. But no one listened. The murmurs grew louder, and some even spat in disgust at Zhang Qingxia and her mother, Zhang's mother, who'd been trying to save face for her daughter, cursed and reached for my fanianly to be shoved aside by a Idermbami turtle girl, staring at the muscular student. Zhang's mother didn't dare misbehave. She stamped her foot and called out in a sickly, sweet voice, "Honey, Yanshan, come help me. Your daughter and I are being bullied to death." Now I knew where Zhang Xingxia got her talent for cooing at men any time. Annie Hershesh was just like her mother. When her husband ignored her, Zhang's mother tugged anxiously at his sleeve, still acting cutesy. "Honey, say something. Or Xiaoxia is being bullied by these little sluts." Suddenly, her expression twisted into a snarl. "Wait, are you feeling sorry for those sluts and don't want to hurt them?" Her husband finally snapped. "Ina, how long are you gonna make a scene? Wasn't that embarrassing enough just now?" He then turned to me, looking apologetic. Sorry, student. My wife's a housewife. She stays home all day, so she's a bit muddled. She's not very educated. Please don't take it personally." Watching Zhang's mother freeze in place, I sneered at her husband. "Cut the good guy act. You stood there like a corpse while your wife went crazy. Now you're speaking up. If you can't keep your eyes to yourself, gouge them out. What were you staring at earlier?" The old man's face flushed red under my scolding. He said nothing, just grabbed Zhang Xingxia and her mother, and slunk away in embarrassment. After this incident, Zhang Qingxia became infamous on campus. Someone even posted a video of the scene on the school forum, though the administration deleted it later due to the negative impact. Thankfully, Zhang Qingxia applied for a dorm transfer on her own. When we got back, her bed was empty and we celebrated by going out to eat. Even though we weren't roommates anymore, we were still in the same class. Every time Qingxia saw me, her eyes looked like she wanted to skin me alive, but I didn't fear her one bit. If the law didn't stop me, it'd be even crueler than her. While Zhang Qingxia was out of our daily lives, Qin Shinra's tragic fate from my past life lingered in my mind. I had a gut feeling things wouldn't end so easily, and I was right. One day, a Mosheng girl sent me a friend request. She was Zhang Qingxia's new roommate. It turned out that after moving dorms, Zhang Qingxia, knowing her reputation was ruined, had played the victim to her new roommates. Their dorm was far from ours, so they hadn't seen the incident firsthand. At first, they'd been skeptical, but Zhang Qingxia acted friendly, generous, and helpful, so they'd dismissed the rumors as untrue. But it was all an act. After just a month, she'd shown her true colors, bossing everyone around and ordering them to do chores. Most of her new roommates were pushover. Sinly this girl dared to talk back. The rest were completely under Zhang Qingxia's thumb. A few days prior, the girl had stayed in the dorm with menstrual cramps, lying behind a curtain. When Zhang Qingxia came back, she'd overheard her on a call, saying she was finding someone to mess with Zhang Wenqi and Chen Xinru. As soon as Zhang Qingxia left, the girl had rushed to get my contact info to warn me. After thanking her, I told Chen Xinru immediately she'd been working part-time lately, and being alone outside was dangerous. After thinking it over, I decided Chen Xinru and Wang Wei should stay at my place. For a while, my parents had gone abroad recently, so the only people at home were me and the housekeeper. We packed a few things and moved in that night. Just as we thought Zhang Qingxia might not act, she suddenly stood in front of the entire class, tears streaming down her face, and apologized to us. She even offered to treat us to dinner as an apology. Of course I agreed. I'd been dying for a chance to take her down and now she was walking right into my trap. Besides, we had an inside man among her roommates. The dinner day arrived. To be safe, I'd hired a few burly bodyguards and seated them at the table behind us. Zhang Qingxia put on a touched expression. I never thought you'd forgive me. I don't even know what to say. I forced a smile. It's fine, we're all classmates. After all, Zhang Qingxia's face lit up like a flower. She raised her cup. Exactly. Come on, let's toast to our friendship. I gave Wang Weiwei a look. She immediately accidentally knocked over her wine glass. Oh no, Qingxia. Are you okay? Wang Wei said. Let me go with you to the bathroom to clean up. Before Zhang Qingxia could speak, we left our seats. As soon as we turned a corner, Samoni brushed past me. Every hair on my body stood on end. It was the old bachelor who'd killed Chen Xinru in my past life. Zhang Qingxia was truly vicious. If she insisted on being ruthless, she couldn't blame me for fighting back. I rushed to the front desk immediately, claiming I'd lost something, and needed to check the surveillance footage. The video showed Zhang Qingxia pouring a packet of white powder into Chen Xinru's and my cups, when no one was looking. When I got back, Zhang Qingxia was anxiously urging Chen Xinru to drink her wine. Luckily, I'd warned Chen Xinru beforehand not to eat or drink anything. While Wang Weiwei and I were away, I strode up behind Zhang Qingxia and hit her on the head. She yelped in pain, clutching her head and glaring at me furiously. Zheng Wenqi, are you insane? I'm treating you to dinner, and you hit me. After watching Wang Wei swap the spiked cups, I said calmly, there was a fly on your head. I didn't care if she believed. Ma just pulled out a chair and sat down. Zhang Qingxia's nose was practically twisted with anger, but she forced herself to hold it in, gritting her teeth. She said, "Oh, I see." Then she immediately pressed us again. Hurry up and drink. This is red wine. My dad specifically asked me to bring. He wouldn't even drink it himself. Under her expectant gaze, he lifted my glass and took a sip. Zhang Qingxia's face lit up with satisfaction, a faint, cruel glint in her eyes. With her plan seemingly on track, she let her guard down. We didn't waste the chance. We ate, scattered food around, ordered a bunch of ridiculously expensive dishes, and even called some other classmates over. Zhang Qingxia's face turned as green as a cucumber when she saw them. I put on an innocent smile. We're all classmates anyway, so I invited a few friends of mine. Figured I'd help clear up any misunderstandings between you guys. You don't mind, right? Just then, the drug kicked in. Zhang Qingxia lost control, screaming, "Are you out of your mind? Zhang Wenqi, I'm treating you to dinner. Why'd you call all these people? What makes them think they're good enough to eat with me?" If it weren't for she clamped her mouth shut abruptly. Crap, shed almost spilled her real motive. Zhang Qingxia realized something was wrong. Her flushed face trembling, she stood up and said she needed to go to the bathroom. 20 minutes later, a classmate joked, "Why's Zhang Qingxia taking so long? Did she run off because she can't afford to pay with all of us here?" The next second, several people came running from the bathroom, cursing, "What a nut job, doing that kind of thing in the bathroom, it's disgusting. Running around naked with no shame, total turnoff. Is she so poor she can't even get a hotel room? You think you're unlucky." I walked in on them, saw everything. What was that girl thinking? Hooking up with an old guy, and the way she was moaning. "I think I need eye bleach." Wang Wei seized the moment. Something's wrong in the bathroom, and Zhang Qingxia's still not back. What if something happened to her? Let's go check. She took the lead toward the bathroom, and soon several girls shrieked, covering their eyes. I went over to look. Zhang Qingxia and the old bachelor had stumbled from the bathroom to the hallway, stuck together like glue. Zhang Qingxia had a dazed, intoxicated look on her face. Some onlookers were already taking videos. I didn't stop them. She deserved this. Didn't she want to be an internet celebrity? This would definitely make her famous overnight. The restaurant finally called the police. By the time officers arrived, Zhang Qingxia had regained her senses. She let out a shrill scream, covering herself with her hands. Her eyes filled with despair. She wailed, "How did this happen? It should have been Zheng Wenqi and that bitch Chen Xinru. Why, God? Why are you doing this?" To me, everyone frowned at her, men and disdain. He watched her suffering expressionlessly. Who else could she blame? Misfortune sent by heaven can be avoided, but misfortune brought on by oneself cannot. In the end, the police found nothing. Even though Zhang Qingxia claimed Wed framed her, Shed bought the drug, hired the old bachelor, and the hallway surveillance clearly showed her pouncing on the man aggressively. When Zhang's mother found out, she went crazy, rushing into the police station with a knife to confront the officers. She was arrested on the spot and thrown in detention. After learning Zhang's father was a public servant, the old bachelor showed up at his workplace every day, making a scene and demanding Zhang Qingxia marry him. He also secretly threatened Zhang's father if he refused to let Zhang Qingxia marry him. He'd tell the police about her hiring him. Forced into a corner, Zhang's father had no choice but to agree. I heard that on the day the old bachelor took Zhang Qingxia away, her Shaju-like screams could be heard all down the street. Soon after, her father had her dropped out of school. The next time I saw Zhang Qingxia was at graduation. Xin Xinru, Wang Weiwei, and I were taking photos at the school gate in our bachelor gowns, when a woman covered in blood darted out from the side, staring at me venomously. "Zheng Wenqi, you bitch! You ruined my life. I'm going to kill you." Before I could react, Xin Xinru's expression hardened. She snatched a broom from a street sweeper and slammed it into the woman's face repeatedly. We had to pull her away to stop. As the police took Zhang Qingxia away, Xin Xinru looked at me through tears, as if she had 1,000 words to say. I was shocked. "Your eyes are red." Chen Xinru smiled and mouthed something silently. I knew she was saying thank you and sorry. The police brought Chen Xinru back the next day. Even though she'd beaten Zhang Qingxia into the hospital, the officers let her go after learning Zhang Qingxia had attacked first and getting witness statements. Zhang Qingxia wasn't so lucky, even lying in the hospital now. She'd face legal punishment later. She had 2 lives on her hands, the old bachelor's and her father's. After being taken home by the old bachelor, she'd been forced into being a breeding tool, living a life worse than a pig or dog. In a fit of rage, she'd killed the old bachelor, then rushed to her childhood home, and murdered her father too. After killing 2 people, she'd come for a Sanli to run into Chen Xinru, who'd just been reborn with a lifetime of pent-up resentment. Chen Xinru had beaten her senseless, and sent her to the hospital. Looking at the unharmed Chen Xinru, we hugged tightly. It was so good. The nightmare of our past life was finally over. This time, we would all live safe, smooth, and peaceful lives. The end.